West, y'all.
Yeah. Sunday Night Heat coming down your way, Off the Cuff Radio. I'm your host, King Eric, and you are now tuned in live and direct of the most direct and hip-hop show out there, sponsored by Da Vinci Clothing, Cocaine's Buddy Boy Entertainment, Jesse Boutique, Core Financial. I got my host T-Max with the facts in the building. We lined up.
What it do, y'all. Another Super Sunday, OTC up in the building. We are here. It's been a beautiful day. It's been a warm day. It's an even balmier, beautiful night. And King, I know we say it all the time. We're going to say it again because we keep doing it. And we're so blessed and happy and humble to do it. We got another legend tonight, man. A long line of distinguished veteran legends, man. Look, King. Shout out to our co-host of Spirit Airlines, man, and Lady Chinchilla, so Illa. King, tell everybody who we got tonight, man.
Man, let me tell y'all this, man. It's been a minute since we tried to get this brother on, but we made some phone calls, and by the grace of God, we made it happen, man. This guy right here pioneered one of the most trademark West Coast sounds for Compton Most Wanted. Consists of the Chill MCA, Boom Bam, Lil Hawkingbird. This guy right here, man, is paved the way for not only sonically for what you hear today in West Coast hip-hop, and they still doing it in a high capacity with his new album titled The Elephant. And before we bring him on, you know, as Fat Joe would say,
yesterday's price is not today's price.
Let's all welcome the Chill, y'all, from Compton Most Wanted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Off the hook. What's happening with it?
What's good, brother?
Man. Look,
love.
Man, look, off the cuff,
love.
man, we are so honored to have you on, man, being one of the coldest on the left coast with the boast of keeping it the most, man. I mean, chill, this is an honor. Dude, you have no idea.
Man, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the platform. I dig what y'all doing, man, and I'm just glad to be a part, man. That's what's up.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, man, and let me tell you, man, the Elephant album is possibly the coldest album out right now, 2021. If you don't have it, go ahead and pick that up, stream it. Don't bootleg it or we going to bust your ass because, you know, we got to go ahead and support the real out here. Tell us about the inspiration behind creating that project, who's featured on it, and how the streets received to it so far.
Man, you know, surprisingly with how stuff is going, you know what I mean, the streets is turned up on it, man. You know, my platform, you know what I mean, is really acting up, you know what I'm saying, and I'm getting a lot of great response about it. You know, it's a project, you know, that I've been working on for a minute. I do a lot of stuff, you know, as you can tell, all the listeners out there, you know what I mean, I do a lot of production, and I just wanted to do something that was, you know, some heavy game, you know what I mean, some real heavy game, you know what I mean, that's why I named it The Elephant, you know what I'm saying, or just Elephant, you know what I mean, just some heavy thing, you know, I'm heavy game, you know what I mean, and, you know, hooked up with a couple of my friends, you know what I mean, my boy Sebo from Sacramento, my boy Cujo from Atlanta, my dirty brother Cocaine, you know what I mean, of course my counterpart MCA and Corrupt, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, a couple of more homies, you know what I mean, and just put together some gumbo, man, and just, you know, it was time and it was needed, you know what I mean, it was definitely needed for the streets, you know what I mean, and the streets is really showing me love, showing me that I can still do it and that they still want it, you know what I mean, so I'm just having fun with it right now, man. Elephant.
Man, I mean, one thing about it, Chill, is when you think about the title also, too, in terms of being heavy, it also means it's a presence in the game. And for what you and Compton's Most Wanted have done over the past close to 35 years has been undeniable. I mean, this is an honor for King and myself because we grew up listening to you guys. So to have you here to talk about, you know, the new album and to talk about your distinguished legendary history along with your comrades and composition, rhymes, and beats, you know, I mean, this is a privilege. When you look at it in terms of having still such a large, respected, you know, presence in the game and still being a staple of West Coast hip-hop, that is a testament to the longevity, creativity, and quality, not in that order, that you have so carefully curated along the years, man. How does it feel to still be revered, respected, cherished, and loved after all this time?
Man, thank you for saying that. You know what I mean? Quality. You know what I mean? That's something I'm heavy on. You know, like I said, you know what I mean? For this elephant, it's just some heavy game. It's a heavy world we live in. You know what I mean? It almost seems like a jungle. You got the tigers, you got the lions, you got the bears, you got the gorillas. I'm the elephant, you know what I'm saying? And keeping it 100, you know, an elephant is, I would think, is closest to human as I can think. You know what I mean? For this, how they think about stuff, how they, about their family, you know, family-orientated animals, you know what I mean? And to me, they're the king of the jungle. You know what I mean? For this, being this relevant in the game, you know what I'm saying, that's heavy in itself, because a lot of people these days don't last nowhere near as long as I've lasted. I've been through a lot of ups and downs. You know, of course, I've been to prison, you know, a couple of times, you know what I mean, was missing off the CMW projects, you know what I mean, and just came back and just had a lot of heavy stuff on my heart. You know what I mean? I'll keep reiterating that the world is heavy right now with Russia and Ukraine and, you know what I mean, the COVID situation, the people having to take vaccines, or they trying to give us an ultimatum to take vaccines. The streets is on fire, acting crazy, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot of heavy business on a lot of people's heart, you know what I mean? So everything is time, and I just thought it was right, you know what I'm saying, the right time to, you know, drop some heavy game on them. And like I said, the streets is going crazy, man. I'm digging the response, and, you know, what to answer your question, you know what I mean, for this clarity, you know what I mean, if we mean it in this sense, you know what I mean, I want to be clear with what I was saying, as well as, you know, a lot of people be having great music, but it ain't sonically correct. You know what I mean? You know, they just putting out music. It's fast food music. It's here today and it's gone tomorrow. I want to be, my legacy is to drop classics, something that we can listen to 30 years later and it still rock, like we listen to a Marvin Gaye record or Smokey Robinson or something like that. And that's heavy in itself. You know what I mean? So that's the clarity with me. You know what I mean? I try to stand out from the next on that tip.
Yeah, and one thing about the elephant, too, Chill, is that an elephant never forgets. And one thing about it being, you know, a heavyweight in the game, you know, lifting from the learning, you know, that's how you be earning it. You never forget. You know, a hustler always maintains that gift of grit. I guess we got to go and take it back a little bit, man. I mean, for those that don't know and ain't familiar, let's get everybody a history lesson. Tell everybody, you know, a little bit about how, you know, EIht and all the crew came together, man, because, you know, a lot of people, when they talk about the legendary group, and you all are legendary, and, you know, you all pretty much came after, you know, in terms of, I won't say came after, but after NWA kicked that door down with Straight Outta Compton, that pretty much opened up the door for all of y'all out there, you know, Quik, the Sales, King T, you know, it just was it was something that, you know, where Outkast, where Dre said at the 94 Source Awards, the South got something to say. Well, NWA showed, and Ice-T showed even before them. They both showed it within 2 years of each other. The West got some wisdom and some words. And you all added on to that distinguished legacy. Tell us about the history, how you all came together.
Man, you know, Aaron Tyler, you know what I'm saying, and Vernon Johnson. That's EIht and Chill. You know what I mean? 2 peas in a pot.
Brag
you know what I mean? Yeah, we was, you know, childhood friends. You know what I mean? My mom and his mom, you know, went to church together and all of that, you know, and, you know, long story short, you know what I mean, MC Ren used to be across the street from me, you know what I mean, my mother's house. And, you know, this is through the NWA legacy, the first album, NWA and the Posse. So,
right,
you know, we was already, you know, encouraged, you know what I'm saying, and inspired by, you know, people like Ice-T and, of course, Toddy T and Mixmaster Spade. You know what I mean? We used to see them around the way. Yeah, and Compton, you know what I'm saying? I would say that they the first ones to really put it down on a reality rap. You know what I mean? Ice-T was 6 in the morning, Mixmaster Spade and Todd with the Battle Ram, and they actually had the first real mixtape, you know, floating around Los Angeles County. You know what I mean? And when I say a mixtape, I'm talking about, like, you know, the old vibed up, staticky, you know, bacon sounding, you know, tater chip bag sounding mixtape. You know what I mean? You know, Spade spitting these nursery rhymes, and, you know, Todd telling us about, you know, the crack epidemic, you know, when that came to the city and all of that. You know, so it was real reality for us. And then with MC Ren being across the street and Easy pulling up, it just made us feel like we could do it too. It's really an outlet, you know what I'm saying? Because where I come from, we really didn't have too much. Either you was going to be a football player, and that's rolling the dice, or a basketball player, and that's rolling the dice because everybody don't make it. Or you was going to be a rapper, and that's rolling the dice, you know what I mean, because everybody don't make it. So, you know, doing those NWA and the Posse days, you know, Ren used to come across the street. I'll be sitting on my porch writing raps. And, you know, he like, yeah, keep writing. You know what I'm saying? I keep it 100. I was whack back then. You know what I mean? I was just getting off the porch. You know what I mean? And, you know, he like, keep writing. But I was infatuated by the big dookie ropes. And, you know, I could actually hear these dudes on the radio. And, you know what I mean? They pulling up in, you know, baller cars back then to me was an Astro van or a Sentra. You know what I mean? Or something like that. And, you know, or just a car in general. You know what I mean? We didn't have no car. So, you know, we was fortunate enough to go over Eazy-E house, which was like 5 minutes from my house. I didn't even know he lived that close all this time. So we went over there, me and EIht, and Ren took us. And, you know, Eazy was like, man, y'all hard, man. I like y'all, man. I want to get down with y'all. But I got a Bud-in-Law, JJ Fad, DOC. You know, he got all these different people. His whole roster, that legendary Ruthless roster, you know what I mean, to put out. And, you know, I was an outspoken kid at 15 years old, like, man, that's going to take too long. We're going to be old by the time you get to us. And old back then to me was 25 years old. You know what I mean? So he was like, man, you know, y'all need to get back in the studio and cut some more songs. You know, I'm like, man, I don't know about no studio. I'm a kid. You know what I mean? So he directed us to Lonzo, gave us the number. You know what I'm saying? For those that seen the NWA movie, they you know who Lonzo is from the Wrecking Crew, world-class Wrecking Crew. Right. And you know, we went over to his house in Gardena, and that's where we met DJ Slip, and they said they wanted us to be a part of a compilation that they was doing, and we jumped on it, and that song is Rhymes Too Funky. The compilation is Compton Compilation. Off of that compilation, that struck us a deal with DJ Unknown. Unknown is the one that put out Ice-T, 6 in the morning. You know what I mean? King T, You Better Bring a Gun. You know what I mean? And they had a lot of techno records as well. You know what I mean? That's what was hot on the West Coast at that time. So, you know, he gave us a break. He put out a maxi single, This Is Compton, I Give Up Nothing and Give It Up. And from there, man, the rest is history, man. We got to deal with Orpheus Capital, and Compton's Most Wanted is a solidified group. 1989, It's a Compton thing drops. Yes, indeed.
Man, dude. And, I mean, one thing about it is that when you look at what NWA did for y'all in terms of that exposure, how did it feel from a perspective of, did you know when you all came together? Because that Compton compilation was something classic. I still got to ask y'all, though, because I was looking for this shit and I could not find it, because I caught y'all on the live. I follow you on IG. And y'all played the joint one night, We Made It. And I was looking for that joint everywhere. And then I found out it wasn't records. Oh, man.
Yeah, we had two versions. Unknown was smart like that. You know what I mean? Back then, you know, groups like us wasn't getting a lot of radio play, you know, especially us. You know what I mean? With the legacy of NWA and, you know, stuff like that. Because back then we had stuff like Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, or, you know, stuff like that. It was the party stuff. You know what I mean? Rodney O and Joe Cooley, which was talking street stuff. Yeah, which was talking street stuff, but it, you know, it was clean. You know what I mean? So, you know, we come around one time, gal from up, you can get the duck sick and all of this type of stuff. You know, we wasn't really getting no radio play like that. So Unknown was clever enough to say, you know what, we're going to do a radio version album and we're going to do a street version album. Now, that legendary blue tape, a lot of people didn't know that Give It Up is on the street version. We Made It is on the radio version. that replaces Give It Up. You know what I mean? Because Give It Up was just too vulgar to try to do a radio version for it. So we just did a whole different song. That song was We Made It. At that time, it was about self-destruction and, you know, we all in the same gang. You know, I think we were supposed to be a part of that. I don't know what happened. I don't remember. But them all the homies. But for whatever reason, we wasn't a part of that. But our contribution to it was the song We Made It. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's no cussing on there. We kind of talking about the struggle, what's going on, you know. And it was, you know, catered to the music that we grew up listening to. You know what I mean? Like some jazz fusion record. You know what I mean? And we used to take these records to Unknown and Slip. Me and EIht be bumping these records. And we used to take these records to them like, flip this, we want to rap to this. And that just happened to be one. You know what I mean? And Keeping It 100, that's one of our standout songs to this day, man.
Man, I still remember.
You know what made you guys stand out to me was the different type of samples that you guys were flipping, because a lot of people that was coming out from the West, it was mostly, you know, Roger Troutman and a lot of George Clinton and a lot of funk. You guys came out the cut. Y'all was sampling Isaac Hayes. Y'all was sampling James Brown, Bobby Womack. Y'all was just sampling.
Yeah, you know, man, to reiterate again, you know, on the West Coast, you know, these are the days before rap. You know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to the East Coast. You know, they had, you know, African Bambaataa and, you know, the Zulu Nation and, you know, of course, KRS-One and, you know, all the legends over there. You know what I mean? So, you know, we didn't want to come out boom bappage, but we loved that. EPMD and all of that, we loved that. You know what I mean? But, you know, we from Compton, so we got to keep it gangster. You know what I mean? So to say. You know what I mean? And it's not a mimic. It's really how we live in, and it's really what we seeing on a day-to-day basis. Also, the music that we hearing from my pops and the older homies and all of that, you know what I mean, wasn't just Roger Troutman and Zap. It was a lot of jazz. It was a lot of Isaac Hayes, Barry White, you know, of course, the Isleys and, you know, Cameo and all of that type of stuff. So, you know, we didn't want to follow the trend of what NWA was doing, because then we'd be looking at it like we're little NWA. We biting them. That was big back then. You know, it wasn't about trying to sound like somebody. We want to be ourselves. So, you know, DJ Slip, you know what I mean, a legendary DJ Slip, our producer at the time, you know, his dad used to, you know, collect a lot of records, a lot of, you know, Coltrane records, Miles Davis. And we just vibe, man. We just listened to a lot of different music, a lot of different stuff. And we DJ'd these parties when we was the kids. Slip and Tom and them was DJing the party. We was carrying the crates. And, you know, we got all that boom bap in us. You know what I mean? We got all that chub rock in us, all that, you know, Rakim in us. You know what I mean? But we like to mix it with Grover Washington, or, you know what I'm saying, we like to mix it with Isaac Hayes or something like that. You know, we like to break beat on that and then talk our ghetto, our gangster shit on there. You know what I'm saying? On that, and put it in a way to where people could be like, oh, man, that's laid back. That's a story right there. You know what I mean? But we talking about the struggle in Compton and Los Angeles County, how it go, over some cold soul beats. That's what made us stand out from the rest.
And when you all really got going with it, man, I mean, it was something special, you know, because one thing about it, during that time, you know, even being from Compton, and we know about the hoods out there, you know, and we know about what be going on. One thing about y'all, that while the gang element was there, while the streets were there, you all were really proactive in terms of really telling a story, illustrating a narrative that was not misogynistic, or violent, but just a reality, but keeping true to it. Hence the blue cassette. You know, we've mentioned you all with such respect and reverence on numerous shows, talking about how, you know, with NWA, we know about Kelly Park, we know about y'all being Trag New, True Blue, you know, and how there were just subtleties. If you were from there, you know, you understood what it meant. And even then, you know, the street certifications of it, you all were already certified, so it wasn't necessarily you had to go out of there and say what we did or who we were. That was already known. But it was about the music standing on its own now, where you had a lot of rappers later on, like, you know, Quik, you know, of course, shout out to Treetop, you know, and so many others, you know, that you could see the hints of it, maybe even a few references, but nothing that was over the top. but it was about representing your hood and what was going on. All right, so y'all are like really moving with it. When did you all realize that it was really moving to where, okay, like the people really fucking with it?
Well, for me, EIht probably would have a different answer to that because I was in and out, straddling the bench, and I had to learn how to, take the streets out of my business, meaning I can't be this street dude, running around here gangbanging, tripping, and trying to be a professional musician or rapper, So, I bumped my head a couple of times, but, in reality, growing up where we grew up at, either you was going to be the dude chasing somebody home or you was going to be the dude getting chased home. We chose to be the dude chasing people home. Like, we wasn't running, I ain't saying that we was just extra turned up, just super duper low-out gangbangers, but, yeah, we was a part of it, and we dealt with things that happened when it comes to gangbanging. We done been part of the drive-bys and fighting and, shooting and all of that type of stuff, and I was heavily involved in it because that's why I was missing on a lot of the projects, Because, the same night we did the Ducks, the same night we did the Duck Sick, I went to jail that night, riding around in a stolen car. Oh,
wow.
I had to bump my head a couple of times to figure it out to say, both of these things right here, both of these entities is a full-time job. Which one of these jobs am I going to take serious? I'm like, okay, this gangbanging stuff ain't getting me nothing but jail time and trouble. This rap stuff is actually getting me to Chicago and Detroit, New York, and Cleveland, and all these different places. I made it all the way to Copenhagen and Oslo with this music stuff.
Oh my God, Norway, yeah.
Yeah, So I had to figure out. Which one I was gonna be both feet in. So I decided to, when I came home the last time, like, what? It's a blessing that I got a rap partner that kept our legacy going, and I always came home to something versus nothing. And I just had to find my lane in it, And that's when I picked up the drum machine and started doing different things in production and all that and reinvented myself as a producer. So that's when I started taking it more seriously. And, people can say, the persona is, oh, you got these big homies, that's giving you a gun or giving you a pack of dope saying get out there and serve some dope. It wasn't like that around the way. You got some homies that's going to try to trick you off and doing something crazy, but you got your own mind, and you push your own line. Then you got some homies that's going to be like, no, man, you going to be something, man. I see it in y'all. And them the kind of homies that I was blessed to be around with. Them the homies that I call big homies to this day because they always pushing. Like, man, stay out of jail. Even when I was in jail, I had homies in there that's doing life. I recall, laying on the grass on the yard, and the homies was just standing over me like, chill. We here for the rest of our life. Man, you are voice. Like, you got something to say out there. Don't let us catch you back up in here. And that stuck with me, and I live with that. So that made me be like, okay, you know what? Leave this gangbang shit alone. Let me just be an advocate for it, and speak about the struggles in it, and, talk about the irony of it and the pitfalls of it, and, different things like that, and it's just a lot of truth to it because I actually lived it, So, that's what's up with us, man, with the blue tape and, all of that. We wasn't all bluntly like, we from Trag New Park and all of that, we'd slide it in 159 or, they see the blue tape, or we got on the blue Compton hat or something. They figured it out. If they was on the West Coast and knew that culture, they knew what it was, but we wasn't glorifying it.
Right.
And later on, we were just looking at the tape like it's just a real cool color. I guess they just wanted to stand out. You know what I'm saying? We was very naive about gang culture out there. We just looked at, oh shit, it's a cool blue tape.
Yeah, because we was going to New York in khaki suits back then, 89, 90, and they was like, man, y'all dudes look like y'all work at the airport with these khaki suits on. You know what I mean? And And I'm like, what you mean? That's how we dress. You know what I mean? I'm like, y'all niggas feet stink. Y'all got them boots on all day. They like, man, you gonna freeze out here with them little pants on. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what you walking all the way down the street for? We don't walk, we drive. You know what I mean? Like, man, we walk everywhere. So, just learning about different cultures and finding out that they basically the same, but catered to where you from. Like New York got these big ass buildings. You know what I mean? So you know, when you walk and you hear that boom, clap, boom, clap. You know what I'm saying? In New York, in LA, we got palm trees, low riders. So that's why it's boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different cultures, but we doing the same shit though. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. And one thing about it too. Oh, go ahead.
Or at least we was. These days it's different, but at least we was. You know what I mean? These days it's a lot of fugazi going on. People trying to gangbang with $1 million. I don't get it. You know what I mean? That's backwards to me. You know what I mean? So stuff has changed.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Perfect segue, Chill. Because one thing about Off the Cuff, we kind of can go in different directions at any given time, depending where the conversation goes. Perfect segue.
No doubt.
One thing about it, with King and myself, everybody I know says I should have been born in California because I got so much love for y'all, and I got so much love for a lot of gangs out there from all sides, you know, in terms of respecting the history. One thing about it, you know, when you look at Bloods, Crips, Pyrus, shout out to, of course, Tragnew, you know, of course, down in San Diego, Lincoln Park, you know, of course, Skyline Brims, 54, you know, Avenue,
yes,
who else?
indeed.
Who am I
all
missing?
the
yeah, man, goddamn Avalon.
All the hood.
Shout out Z-Nash.
Yeah, we got that love from the Bay to L.A., California love. You know what I'm saying? And we love New York, man. We love New York. We one of the groups, even through, you know, all that Death Row and Bad Boy shit, you know what I mean? We was one of the groups that was heavy accepted in New York and Baltimore and Boston and Washington and VA. You know what I mean? Like, we'll be out there, like, on some regular shit, you know, like, really chilling with the Wu or really chilling with Def Squad, you know what I'm saying, or Red, you know, that's our guy, you know what I mean, or really be in Jamaica, Queens, or, you know the relationship that us and Gangstar have to this day. Shout out to Preem, you know what I mean, rest in peace, Guru. Yeah, we got that New York love, man. I don't know if it's because of the, you know, the way we came, you know, with the samples, with the jazz loops, and, you know, Pete Rock is our guy, Lost Professor. You know, I mean, I got real friends from 30-something odd years from New York City, man, that I love to death. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to NYC, man, the whole East Coast, man, for real.
Yeah, and what you said about the gang.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, too, because you guys was one of the first bridges from the West to the East Coast. Just like when y'all had Premier doing y'all remixes. We thought that was very see at the time. And seeing Premier doing remixes for West Coast artists.
Yeah, we came out around the same year. 89, that's the golden era. It's the golden age. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Gangstar, you know, Guru, rest in peace. You know, we did our shows together. Our tours was basically together. You know, one that come to mind was Gangstar, CMW, Above the Law, and I believe it was the DOC. And, you know, we was tripping off Guru and Preem. We're like, man, who's these dudes with these, you know, African medallions and, you know what I mean, flat tops and who this? And they looking at us like, who is them dudes with these 2 pagers on their hip and khakis on, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, but we share something in common, you know what I'm saying? We liked it that green. We smoked the weed, you know what I mean? So I'll get in the cut with Guru and we'll blow, man, damn near an ounce of weed. And the same thing with Preem, you know what I mean? And then when we come to New York or anywhere on the East, they pull up and show us love, you know what I'm saying? So from us touring all them days, all them years back then, you know, we developed a real tight-knit brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? Even the homies from the South, the Ghetto Boys, Scarface, Willie D, shout out to Bushwick Bill, Big Mike, you know what I'm saying? The same thing, you know what I mean? A-Ball and MJG, you know what I mean? A lot of my Chi-Town homeboys in the Midwest, you know what I mean? Like, we really rock with people on their side, you know what I mean? We wasn't just we going to fly in and go downtown and lamp in the hotel and go back to the airport, dude. We was like, man, take us to the hoods where y'all be at. Like, we got to kick it on the block. I want to see how y'all living. We was them type of dudes.
And one thing about it, that era is so beautiful because, you know, this is no East Coast, West Coast beef. You know, it's all about the love and respect shown through a common love of the culture, you know, and respect for each other's side once you really begin to understand it. Before we get into how gangbanging has permeated the game and it's kind of turned it sideways, I wanted to ask you, what was it like during that time in terms of getting your music out there, you know, in terms of the labels? You know, of course, you all came along in the video era. It's all about marketing. What does it take for a group or artist to really get on in the game, let alone really become big?
I would say, to get in the game back in them days, you had to have talent for one. You couldn't sound like you couldn't sound like somebody else. You had to be fresh, organic talent, for one. And then another thing I would say is just being in the right space at the right time. A lot of people, I know guys that ain't never left Compton to this day. We was fortunate, to meet E, and then he directed us to Lonzo, and that's how we met DJ Slip and Unknown. So it was who you know. Because I wouldn't know where a studio was at back then, or even what a studio looked like back then. So timing was everything for this, being introduced to them cats, and being mentored by them guys, because we was kids, man. Unknown had to come talk to our parents and stuff like that back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I would say it's definitely talent and just who you know back then. Now, for this marketing, and stuff like that, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have all these mechanisms that's here today that makes it so easy yet hard. We actually had to go in the Cabrini Greens in Chicago, or in Flatbush, or East New York, or or in Philly, or wherever. We had to go in they hoods and shake hands and hug ladies, and sign autographs. Or we in L.A. in hoods, and people know, in L.A., like, oh, that's the blue tape. That's the Crip niggas from Compton, you know what I'm saying? Like, we in blood neighborhoods signing autographs, and, got the gun, like, on the bag right there by our feet while we doing it, and stuff like that. So it's real, it was real different. It was real different back then, versus now, But we did it, man, We surfed all these hoods and all these traps and, all these different places, and, people was lined up all the way around the block to check us out, man. And it's just a blessing to still be here and still relevant.
Man, and when you talk about talent, Shield, that's like the most paramount, because when we look at the game today, it is predicated on a lot of pseudo tough guyness, a lot of industry connections that are manufactured. Exactly. A lot of industry connections that are manufactured but not naturally cultivated. And being on the front lines of the streets, man, because we didn't know about on the East Coast how real, blood and Crip wars were. We started seeing around, because when Ice Cube talked about it on my summer vacation on 1991 Off Death Certificate, that's when we started having an idea, of course, when it started going into St. Louis. When you had the 8-Ball Alliance, Vice Lord, Blood Affiliation, Crips and, GDs, the 5-star, the 6-star, People in Folk Nation. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, do your history. For those who are listening know, you already know what it is. Shout out to all, the representatives. So we really had no idea what was going on at the time in terms of how it was. And, as we saw it progress over the years, we kind of more or less, we saw a lot of artists, of course. Shout out to Snoop Dogg, Uncle Snoop, representing 20s. We saw Mac 10 representing Inglewood. So we were seeing it more and more, but now it's gotten to a place where it's become almost like, it's like they're using that as a card to get credibility. And a lot of these dudes, 6ix9ine, just putting it out there. I mean, he was playing with the Bloods up in New York until that situation turned into something. Shameless plug for those that did not read Sean Sotero's Tekashi book about the whole story. Check it out. We had him on the show. Great guy, great book. And you were on the front line of this, Chill, so you understand the history, the dangers, the celebrity that comes with being a real gangster, but also the perils and sometimes the deadly consequences of it. We see a lot of artists today, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, and I preface this by saying I'm not shading any of those individuals, especially Chris Brown coming from Virginia, 2 up, 2 down, stand strong, love Chris. you know, but Chris has got himself. But Chris is from Tappahannock. You know, he ain't from Compton. You know, Wayne is from, you know, Holly Grove, New Orleans. You know,
right.
You know, the trajectory is different. I'm going to get along with you here. What is your opinion about a lot of these artists playing around as something that they did not come up in and more dangerously really don't understand about the culture of the gangbanging?
I think, you know, people was yearning for something new, you know what I mean, and trying to be close to whatever culture is popping at the time, I would say. You know what I mean? Like, you know, for example, you know what I mean, Dub C came out, you know, with the Seawalk. You know what I mean?
Shout out 111. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Shout out to 111 neighborhoods. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know, our culture on the West, you know what I mean, Los Angeles County, Compton, L.A., Watts, Long Beach, you know what I mean? We know what it is off the back. Dub C didn't make up the Seawalk. He just made it popular for the world to see. This is something that we know about since we was kids. You know what I mean? So when Dub C put it on a platform to where the world could see, and then people that is not cut from that cloth gravitate to it, it just shows that, and I don't want to say everybody's just trying to be like the West Coast, but it's just different stuff that we have done. You know what I mean? People gravitated to. You know what I mean? Gangbanging culture is definitely one. Our whole get down is based on gangbang. Our whole hip hop line we push on the West Coast is based off gangbang, straight up.
In Norfolk when you were there, and it was EIht Williams.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you mentioned Mac 10, you know what I mean? Like, the world didn't know Mac 10 was a blood when he came out. You know what I mean? You know, and try to guess the colors of my shoelaces or something big, bright shoelace. That automatically told us, like, oh, okay, he a blood. You know what I'm saying? He from Inglewood, so 9 times out of 10 he a blood. You know what I mean? I think it's two Crip hoods in Inglewood. So, you know, it's like big, bright shoelaces. That's lingo. That's telling us I'm a blood, homie. You know what I'm saying? You know, now the world learns that he's a blood. You know what I mean? Back, you know, Dub C used to wear the 3 braids in his chin. That symbolized 111. The world don't know that. You know what I mean? But we know that on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? The blue tape, or when we say 159 all the time, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, that's Alondra and Central. They from Track New.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? When Quik say, you know what I'm saying, some Arabian spruce. I'm like, oh, Arabian spruce, that's treetop. You know what I'm saying? The world don't know that. We know that. You know what I mean? So once the world start figuring it out with all this different stuff that we was putting out there, then they start banging. You know, a lot of people start banging their section and doing different things and being more bluntly with it. You know what I mean? With the legacy of Death Row, that's what made it just all the way just in your face. We Bloods, we Crips. You know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to Snoop. You know what I mean? He came out the Long Beach section like this Crip. I'm from 20 Crip to this day. You know what I mean? So that made it to where, you know, the world would be like, okay, we banging our section. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm from GD. Oh, okay, I'm from Vice Lord. Oh, okay, I'm from Decatur. Okay, I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm, you know, wherever it is. You know what I mean? You know, people just start representing their turf. And then you had, you know, turn up songs like Lil Jon, and then, you know, all these crunk, turn up, crazy ass songs, you know what I'm saying, that make people, you know, violent. Have a good time, but violent. You know what I mean? You know, G Unit, you know what I mean? Southside, some Jamaica Queens, and you know what I mean? We started learning how rough they was on that end, you know what I mean? The different things, you know what I mean? So I don't want to say the West put that on, but I do want to say the West put that on. You know what I mean? Even with the lingo, you know what I'm saying? When you got people from the Bay talking that fly, you know, that fly talk, you know what I mean? Like E40, you know what I'm saying? You know, sprinkle me, man, and whoop, wop, wop this, and pop your collar and all this. You know, when the world figured out what that was, then they gravitated to it. And then, you know what I'm saying, the South, just like Andre 3000, like the South got something to say. That's when we learned about, you know, okay, Decatur and you know, Atlanta, and you know what I mean? We wasn't just thinking about, oh, okay, at Lenox Mall, it's a lot of gay people or whatever. You know, we started learning about the different boroughs around Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, they thugging. You know what I mean? Or, you know, in New York, we knew about the Latin Kings. You know what I mean? And all of that, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't know about East New York. We didn't know about, you know what I mean, Jamaica, Queens. We didn't know about Soundview Projects and the Marcy's and Strong Island and all of that. You know what I mean? We didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But once Death Row and Snooping and put it in your face, it made it cool for the world to say, hey, this is where we from. This is what we represent. We this or we that. Now it's just haywire because people feel like they have to be connected to something to be relevant. You know what I mean? Like these kids, you know, even on the West, even where this stuff originated at, you know what I'm saying? These people feel like they have to be connected with something, you know what I mean, to be relevant. You know, first it was, oh, I got shot 9 times, or, you know, I got stabbed, or I've been to prison, you know what I mean, to make themselves seem tougher or big or bold. I don't know what it is, but people have to connect themselves to something to seem or make themselves more relevant than there is. And this is where the 6ix9ines come in at, people like that. Because when you representing something, everything that come with that is gonna come. You know what I mean? So he running around here turned up, doing his shit or whatever, and he's running around and getting into these altercations. Then the fuzz get on him, the police, and he ain't gonna stick to the other part of the rule. The other part of the rule is you don't tell, you stay 10 toes down, do your time, and take it and come on home, or ride it out. You know what I'm saying? Or when we say for life, it's like for life. Like, we're going to do it even if we get killed for it. That's our literature. A lot of cats ain't taking it that far. You know what I mean? So that's where the snitches come in. Or, you know what I'm saying, they getting their whole car pulled, and you starting to see fugaziness. Or ain't nobody actually having no fights out here. People having a lot of money. They own a lot of different drugs, and they got big-ass guns. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's bold or brave enough to say, you know what, I'm going to catch a fade with this dude and actually get a bloody nose or a black eye. They don't know what that feel like, but they got a lot of money. They don't want to get embarrassed on Instagram by some broad twerking or some chick with a Birkin bag or whatever, so they rather pull out some fancy gun, Draco, and off a motherfucker. But everything that come with that is going to come with that. You know what I'm saying? Some guys can get away with it if they stuck to the real G code of it. You know what I mean? The real G code of it is you don't talk to nobody. You don't say nothing to nobody. These those didn't get that part. They just got the fame part of it. Like, yeah, I'm such and such, I'm a blood. Or I'm such and such, I'm a Crip. But when the shit get real, they missing out a part. You know what I mean? And that's when they hoe up. You know what I mean? So I don't be respecting them, man. I don't understand it. Really, it ain't for me. I'm from the other side of the game, the real trill side of the game, from being part of it. You know what I mean? And I try to tell my little homies, like, hey, man, don't be out here gangbanging because you're going to get told on, straight up. And ain't nobody going to fight you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to shoot you. Nobody has fights anymore. They shoot.
You know what? Here's the difference between what you guys was doing and what these guys are doing. See, with you guys, when you was putting this in your art, it was also giving a message to look out for what's happening in not only in your backyard, but y'all also touched on different shit like the police. Y'all touched on poverty. Y'all touched on different elements and not really glorify. Y'all was painting graphic pictures. Even when we saw EIht make his debut in Innocent Society, and that movie there, it was like a graphic picture of what really goes down in that neck of the woods. So it told us out of towners, like, it ain't all palm trees and good weed and good women out that bitch. It go down like that.
It goes down. I mean, and, you know, shout out to the Hughes brothers for putting my boy down with that situation, and it was real organic. I think the part that EIht played, AWACS, was supposed to go to MC Ram, my other homie. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, you know what I'm saying, it didn't work out. I think Tupac was supposed to be in the film as well, but EIht was a natural. Yeah. You know what I mean? He came in, and you know, it wasn't even no act. Yeah, he came in. He was a natural. I think we had came off a tour, and he like, I got to go read for this movie. I'm like, all right, I'll holler at you later. And he pushed up in there acting regular. That was really him at that time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the Hughes brothers, man, it was game over. They was like, oh, yeah, you're AWACS for this movie. You know what I mean? And that depicts everything about us. You know what I mean? In Watts. That was based out of Watts, Los Angeles. PJ Watts, which is a borough in Watts, California. You know what I mean? The projects. Yeah. And, you know, they was, you know, he aced it, man, because, you know, we from Compton. Compton is connected to Watts. We call it Compton Watts, Hub and the Dub. We've been that since day one. It still is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Look, shout out to Grape Street and everybody out Watts, man. You know, because,
yes,
I mean, look, that infamous scene from when they said, hey, homie, you need some help. Wow. You were like, oh.
It really goes down. Well, it did. It did go down like that. Now it's, man, you don't know who popping at you, man. Should it be some, you know, little Asian kid, you know what I'm saying, with Justin Bieber hairdo. He got a big ass gun and he pull up an off. You know what I'm saying? Some dude in some little skinny jeans and pull out a big ass cannon bigger than him. You know what I mean? So it ain't that no more. But that's how it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when you talk about it, when you look at the influence of the West Coast, because there are a lot of, I mean, from the music to the albums, when you look at, especially because we're talking about cinema for a minute, when we look at Boys in the Hood, shout out to Ice Cube, of course, rest in peace, John Singleton, shout out to Yo-Yo King, Lawrence Fishburne, you know, Cuba Gooding, you know, Morris Chestnut, everybody, you know, of course, who was in it, man. You know, Angela Bassett. You know, Boys in the Hood came out. Neil
Long.
Yeah, can't forget Neil Long.
Yeah.
Man. You know,
indeed.
And look at you guys had a song on the soundtrack growing up in the hood.
Yeah.
One of the best songs I've heard, that Painted Street Life and that portrait.
Oh my God.
Man, we aced it, man. Shout out to John Singleton, you know what I mean, and that whole organization. You know, we was blessed to be a part, and it's crazy because we had a little extra part in that movie too. EIht was in the backyard when Cube was talking. When Cube had got out the pen and was talking about hoes got to eat too.
Yeah,
EIht was in that part.
Yeah,
and then I was in the part on Crenshaw when Cube pulled out the gun. Like, we got a problem. I was standing right there, but John Singleton, he was like, "Yo, man, I need y'all to do the leading single for this." You know what I mean? And, you know, we was like, you know, okay, what's the movie about? Basically, you know, EIht wrote the song. And if you look at it, it's 3 different versions of that song. You know, it's me and EIht on the actual soundtrack. The video is just EIht because I went to jail then. I went to jail day before we did the video. And then there's a remix with just EIht on it. You know what I mean? And then on the second album, Straight Checking the album, it's the original version with me and EIht on it. So a lot of people think that it's just EIht on that song, but it's me and EIht on that song. And, you know, John Singleton, he just said that he needed a jam, the title track for that movie. You know what I mean? So he told us what it was, and just from hanging out on the movie set every day, you know what I mean, being a part of that, you know, it was a no-brainer. You know what I mean? It was an easy call. We went in the studio. You know, once again, I wasn't in the right headspace. I was still a street dude, hanging out, thugging. So it took me probably like 10 hours to do my verse, which it took EIht 30 minutes to do his. You know what I mean? I think I had some good weed, some drink, and some females in the studio that night, and I just couldn't get it for something. You know what I mean? And then I turned around and went to jail day before we did the video. So I wasn't taking it serious, but I'm still blessed to be a part of that, you know what I mean? Because when I came home and I revisit with John Singleton, he wanted to do some other stuff with me, you know what I mean, for this production, you know what I mean? And I ended up later on, after he passed, God bless his soul, doing some music for Snowfall, which is his creation right now as well, you know what I mean, through the homie Dub C. So full circle once I started taking my business correctly.
Yeah, because with Snowfall, we said full circle because a lot of people don't know this unless you saw when Damson Idris was on the Tonight Show, Dub C was his dialect coach, you know, because Damson Idris
he's the dialect coach.
You know, he's British. Yeah, so he gave him, like, the dialect for it. Because one thing about it with Boys in the Hood when it came out, there's always the what we call the relative connection, because Boys in the Hood was the good kid, Mad City in terms of the kid growing up, you know, or coming of age, and then Menace to Society is My Crazy Life because that was just a straight hood.
Yeah. I had an extra part in that movie as well. The guy that drove the green car when the boy Caffeine was coming off the porch, like, I'm finna go handle my business. And he like, man, we finna handle our business. He jumped in the car before we do the drive-by on Kane and them. That was me driving the car. That was me he was talking to. So, you know, shout out to the Hughes brothers for that. You know what I mean? For giving me that part. You know what I mean? And being a part of the Straight Up Menace legacy as well.
Yeah, man.
And that record spawned. I think that record spawned. I think one of the biggest hits from '93, which was Straight Up Menace, and that crossed you guys into a different realm. I even started hearing that record on Screw tapes. Like, you know, when Screw get a hold of your shit, especially out here in the South at that time, you was somebody.
Man, rest in peace, DJ Screw. Yeah, I couldn't wait to hear my voice screwed up. I know the first time I went to Houston, I jumped in the car. You know, like I told you, I like to go to the hood. So we in 5th Ward or South Park or 3rd Ward somewhere, and I'm in the car with somebody from Houston rolling, and I kept hitting this radio like, no, what's wrong with your radio, man? He's like, oh, that's how we ride. I'm like, that shit messed up, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, that's how we ride. But, you know, after a couple of hours, I'm like, you know what? That dude sound kind of tight, how it slowed down like that. And he said, oh, y'all ain't heard y'all tape like that? And he had Growing Up in the Hood like that. And I think he had Can I Kill It like that. And I said, oh, man. I said, who is that? He took me to him, and I bought a couple of tapes. So shout out and rest in peace, you know what I'm saying, to DJ Screw for that. That's a whole nother lane. I watched a documentary on him the other day. It was crazy how that whole Screw thing came about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Robert Earl Davis Jr. Yeah, shout out to Robert Earl Davis Jr., man, DJ Screw. Because, but it showed how far you all came with it, man, because you all really made it. I mean, when you think about Watts and everything, because we got to shout out Watts, you know, the hub and the dub, and we got to shout out Imperial Course, you know, Jordan Downs, we got to shout out Nickerson, you know, shout out, what else, Jay Watts and the Bounty Hunters, man, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You know, all the homies over there in the Nickersons, you know what I'm saying, PJ Watts, as well as Gray Streets, as well as the other hoods, 10 Line, 7th Street, you know what I mean, Hat Gang, Front Street, you know what I'm saying? That's all Watts, you know what I mean? Shout out to Watts. Yes, indeed. Glasses Malone, that's my guy.
Yeah, shout out to Glasses. We interviewed him a couple years ago. We got to get him back on the show.
I produced his first joint that he came out. The first time in the world was introduced to Glasses Malone. 1,000 Crips with me and 1,000 Power Roots. Huh?
That wasn't the Beach Cruiser album, was it? Or
that's I can't remember what album, what the title it was. He was a young big dude, came in the studio, and I was actually working on 213. Me and Battle Cat was working on Nate Dogg, rest in peace, and Snoop Dogg and Warren G. And he came into the studio with another cat that I liked it. I liked it actually. His name was Convict out of PJ Watts. And he ended up getting himself in some trouble, and Glasses doubled back and was like, man, I know how to rap, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me hear something. So I threw him a beat, and then he came to me and Rhythm D, my boy that did Paperboy and Compton City G's for Eazy-E. He came over, me and him was working on some stuff, and we threw him a beat, and that beat became, you know, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I got 1,000 Crips with me and 1,000 Power Rules. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And he came up from there, Glasses Malone, man. Shout out to him. I was like, damn, man, that's that kid that came through. You know what I mean? You know, he came through. Kendrick's another one, you know what I'm saying? And Game is another one. I used to be at the studio right in the heart of Compton, up by Wilson Park, behind a cell phone company. And Kendrick and Game used to be on the gate like, oh, gee, man, let me get a beat from you. I'm like, I'm going to mess with y'all, man, one day. I'm going to mess with y'all one day. And how it came full circle is EIht ended up the only feature, I think, besides Drake, on Kendrick's first album. You know what I mean?
And it's, but I'm, yeah, and I mean, with Kendrick coming out of Compton, I mean, you know, it's like when you, because a lot of people don't know this history, that he had a mixtape called The Youngest Head Nigga in Charge. And I tell everybody, if you can find that album, because it was only released in California in Compton, and it's when he was in high school. And I have not heard it myself. I have not heard it myself, but I heard the album is fucking bananas.
Oh, man, it's bananas, bro. It's bananas. Yes, indeed. That's my guy.
When you first heard Kendrick, what was your impression? And after, you know, he gets with Dre, because this is after he dropped Section 80 in 2011, because he dropped, you know, Good Kid, Mad City in 2012. So this is a year between two projects. From what you heard, what he does with Dre, and where he is now, what was it like to see that growth and that evolution of, you know, Mr. Duckworth?
I mean, definitely salute to his growth. The first time I was introduced to him for just listening to his music professionally, I was in prison. Okay. I went 2010. And I used to have all the CDs. I had all the music. I was up on everything. And, I had bought a CD, Good Kid, Mad City. And I bumped that CD back and forth every day. I used to work out to it, and I was like, man, this dude right here is phenomenal. So when I came home, you know what I mean, it wasn't old, but, I'm bumping that still. You know what I mean? And then he came out with his second album. And some of the producers I worked with, like Joseph Lineberg and different people, they was like, oh, yeah, he worked over here. Or what's my boy name? We were Herbie Hancock and them. I forget his name, but they work with him, you know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, I know this kid. That's when I realized I know this kid. It's the same kid that used to be up at Wilson Park. I didn't think of that when I was in prison. I thought this was just some kid that, because my grandmama lived right behind Centennial. Down the street where Suge got caught up in that bullshit at Cam Burgers for Terry Carter. You know what I mean? So
right.
When he was talking about, Luda's Park next to that Church's Chicken, I knew exactly what he was talking about. I'm like, damn, that's down the street from my grandma's house. I'm like, that's that kid? You know what I mean? And then when I re-met him again, I was like, damn, homie, you are Kendrick Lamar? I'm like, you wasn't Kendrick Lamar back then. He was K-Dot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I couldn't put the 2 with the 10. You know what I mean? But to see him evolve, it just shows that, you can either be from the gang, and that's a full-time job, or you can be serious about your craft. You know what I mean? And that's a full-time job. He chose B, to be serious about his craft. And you just see him elevate. Now he's one of the dudes with the keys to the city, man. I'm so proud of that guy, man. I can't wait to revisit it again and be able to work with him on a professional level. We'll bump heads. I'll catch you because I'm producing everything out here. So I'll catch you. That's my guy.
What about Game in terms of when Game started? Because Game was, where Kendrick kind of set fire once he really got going. Game, it was a little different because it took time. I still have the Double XL from 2000 and I believe 3. Yes, I have every Double XL from 1997. It was never
that's right. I wish I did. Yeah, with Game, with Game, it was a little different. Mm-hmm. We wasn't beefing, but we all from the west side of Compton. You know what I mean? And we from Fragnell, he from Cedars, which is, you got to get through Fragnell Park. You got to go through 151, which is Pyro Hood. And then you get the Cedar Block, which is over by the Palmer Blocks. You know what I mean? So we used to be with the Palmers, and they arch enemies of Cedar Blocks. Ours at that time was Campanella Park. You know what I mean? So, we never really got a chance to mix and mingle with them guys, you know what I mean, because of the streets. But through this music, we can mess with anybody, you know what I mean? So, once he got off the porch and came out with his first album, and I see him around the way, you know what I mean? He's like, man, you don't remember me? I'm like, damn, put the 2 with the 10. That's that kid from that Park 2. He was a great basketball player over there at the gym. And, he chose, banging, you know what I mean? And from where he was from, we never would meet each other unless it was about beefing or fighting or, hitting each other up or whatever in passing. You know what I mean? So once I seen him in music, he respected my get down. I respected his get down. With knowing where he's from and he knowing where I'm from, but we didn't ever think about none of that. We like, man, you from Compton. That's all that mattered with me. You from Compton. You know what I mean? So, I think we shared that mutual respect. I think we did some work back then, a little mixtape work or whatever, but never had the opportunity to really sit down and really get down. We talk about it all the time when we run into each other, like, chill, I need some beats. I'm like, man, I need a verse. You know what I'm saying? And we just never seized the opportunity. You know what I mean? Not because of the hood shit, but, life gets in the way. You know what I mean? And then, now we don't live in Compton no more. He lives where he lives, we live where we live. So we just seeing the music every now and then.
Now, I wanted to shoot this to you while we're talking about Compton and everything. And everybody by now knows, if you're a hip-hop historian or you've been following the culture, that you had issue with Quik and them, and y'all had a back and forth. Now, I'm curious to know, how did you guys squash that, man? Because it seemed like from hearing those records, we will never see a truce or a peace treaty or nothing. So how do you guys come together to where now y'all making dope music? Because he was on Quik's album.
Man, we grew up. We got grown. You know what I mean? you know, when you get grown, you love more stuff than the hood. You know what I mean? Such as your wife, your children, you know, your bills that you pay, you know, you're serious about our craft. You know, we ain't got the homies in our ear. You know what I mean? And I never had beef with Quik. You know what I'm saying? I was hating Quik thing. You know what I mean? But I was riding with my team. You know what I mean? I never was vocal about it for this dissing him on records. And, you know, he ain't never dissed me or nothing. But, you know, I ride with my team. If there was a fight to be having or whatever, then I was available. Team 8. You know what I'm saying? In the name of Tragedy Park. You know what I mean? And we finna get at these treetops. You know what I mean? That's what it was about back then. But I'm proud to say right now, David Blake is one of my best friends, man. It's crazy because we share the same thing in Compton. We from Westside Compton. We come from that struggle. You know what I'm saying? He a Paru, I'm a Crip. You know what I'm saying? From that struggle of gangbanging, we grew up the same. We played numerous instruments. We produced for predominantly everybody. And we rap our ass off. And the streets is what blocked that back in the day. And we had this talk before, you know what I'm saying, not too long ago, like, damn, man, we do the same shit and never had the opportunity to rock with each other. And he's one of my best friends now. Me and Quik, we talk probably once a week about just frivolous shit, man, just talking, like, you know, what kind of equipment you using right now, or how you hook up this, or, you know, check this out, what I did, and, you know, different stuff like that. So, you know, it ain't really worth us doing records together if it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? We do that, but it'd be corny, you know what I mean, to say, oh, 8 Chill and DJ Quik did a record together, you know. To me, that's kind of corny, you know what I mean? Like they kumbayaing, you know what I mean? But, you know, if it just happened like that organically, then, yeah, we'll do it. And I think that's how, you know, the Rosecrans Project came apart with 8 and Quik. You know what I mean? It was organic. We was just vibing, and 8 jumped on the mic, and Quik had a beat, and there it was. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even know that happened.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I have Rosecrans, and the album was unbelievable because the history of the conflict they had. I'm not going to speak on it because I can't remember all the details, and I think it's better for those two to speak on it. But I know it was through a misunderstanding, and somehow it got turned into something else.
It was a total misunderstanding. It was, it was. You know, everybody know what it was. It was the streets. He a Paru, we Crips. You know what I mean? They always go pin us against each other, and we riding with our team. You know what I mean? When we was them kids, we didn't have wives and children and all this different responsibility to care about. We cared about the hood. So we was going to ride with what everybody was talking about in the hood. That's what fueled it. You know what I mean? He from over there, we from over here. You know what I mean? We thought he was dissing us on a mixtape. 8 fired back with a subliminal. You know what I'm saying? And he fired back, we fired back. And, you know, it's ironic. Somebody going to get mad. You know what I mean? And he came out with dollars and cents. And it's crazy because we had that conversation too. He like, man, I said, you won on the record. And he was like, y'all won on the streets. Because everywhere he went, he had to fight. Everywhere he went by this time, it's worldwide Crips. You know what I'm saying? That's when that record Just Like Compton came out, because he in Denver and all these different places fighting Crips behind this and 8. You know what I mean? So he like, man, y'all won on the street. I'm like, you won on the record. You know what I mean? Fair game. You know what I'm saying? So nobody got killed. So, you know, good thing. You know what I mean?
And that's another segue too, Chill, because one thing about it, King and myself, we talk on the air with our guests. We talk off the air about it. There was tensions back in the day. There was even outright niggas that didn't like each other at certain levels. I mean, you had, of course, you know, Hammer, Hammer was having his issues with a couple people, LL and Kumo D, they had their problems. But it never got to the point, even with Nas and Jay-Z, but it never got to a point where it felt like there was somebody was going to get killed behind it. And even with y'all, especially with the implications of gang affiliations, but it never felt like at that time somebody was going to get murdered. It's changed a lot. It's changed now because of certain situations, a lot of artists say things on wax and they've been killed for it. What are your feelings on how that has changed in terms of where competition has become, people becoming carcasses and body bags behind it?
Man, it's wild, man, because if you look at it, the way the culture is now, you know what I'm saying, people, they kids, man, with a lot of money, I reiterate, on a lot of drugs, different uppers and downers. and nobody's taking fights. You know what I mean? Now, in the MC8 DJ Quik beef, which was legendary, by the way.
Yes, it was.
You know what I mean? I mean, just to be, one of those groups that, we go down in history as, one of the top rap beefs. Nobody got killed. It was some fights. You know what I mean? He rapped about it on I think that was, you a gangster? No, I'm not. Something, whatever. He say, and I used to have a beef with this cat named EIht, and his homies approached me at the club El Rey. You know what I'm saying? So the homies was up there squabbing with him. You know what I mean? And a guy lost his life, but it had nothing to do with that beef. It was just straight Crip and blood shit going on up there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if anything, somebody getting killed, I think it was about that. But it had nothing to do with the beef. These days, you got this internet, man. It's Instagram and TikTok and all that, man. A person say something about you, man. I think it's safe to say that, both people lose on both sides of the gun. You know what I mean? Something that could have been a simple fight conversation. You know what I mean? Communicating with each other. Hey, man, I didn't like what you said. All right, man, I felt like you did this. This is why I said it. Oh, okay, well, man, this is what I meant by it. You know what I'm saying? All right, well, you know what I'm saying? You chill out on that, and I'm going to chill out on that. Or, man, I didn't like that, man. Let's step in the back and get this out the way. I really ain't feeling your style. And motherfuckers knuckle up. You know what I'm saying? If that's what got to happen. Motherfuckers will choose to shoot you. You know what I'm saying? And the cold irony about that is they're not keeping it true to the essence of the G code of the street. So it's cameras everywhere. Everybody is walking around with computers in their hand, these cell phones, with 3D cameras. Everybody's posting, you know what I mean? And the guy that shot somebody, he lost his life. And it's only a matter of weeks before he get caught. So he lost his life too. You know what I mean? So I just think dudes just got to grow up, man. They just got to grow up like we did. We had to grow up. They have to fall in love with something else besides the streets like we did. You know what I mean? I got a beautiful family. You know what I mean? I own a business. You know what I mean? I take my son to football practice. I'm living through him now in sports. You know what I mean? I love that. You know what I mean? I love that. You know what I mean? So that's the sign of growing up. You know what I mean? I guess these guys got to grow up. And, the way society is built, a lot of dudes don't get that opportunity to grow up because either they throw their way of life, their life away in prison from getting told on or getting caught doing some dumb shit, or they get strung out on drugs, or, whatever they got to go through. You know what I mean? Only some of them make it. You know what I mean? In this day and time, shit, it ain't even about getting shot. Shit, people getting took out just by passing a blunt, or fentanyl is laced in the weed, or, you know what I mean? It's all type of different obstacles you got to duck and dodge. You know what I mean? When it comes to COVID and all this different shit. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I think people just got to just fall in love with something besides the streets. I would say that. You know what I mean? Grow up and fall in love with something besides the streets. Grow up, fellas. Go have a kid. Get you a decent woman, man. That broad that's tweaking with that less front weave on, she ain't shit. You know what I mean? She ain't shit. You know what I mean? Go get you a woman, you know what I'm saying, that's going to take care of your dog ass. You know what I'm saying? Wash the dishes, keep the drawers washed and all that shit. You know what I mean? Instead of buying that Louis and all that shit, go get you some real estate. You know what I mean? That's the key to the game. You know what I mean? And lamp in your house and watch that 72-inch. Watch the Lakers or something. See if they're going to win tonight. Something like that. You know what I mean? Until they figure that out, they just going to keep losing. But the cold part about it is they losing on both sides of the gun. This guy is going to get told on. It's just no way around it. He's going to get told on because somebody's filming and there's cameras everywhere. You know what I mean? And, of course, the person that got shot. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it's also I think it's because people, instead of teaching, they rather be opportunists. That's where a lot of elders kind of dropped the ball because even with you guys, y'all had a yin and a yang. Like,
no doubt.
Y'all talked about the repercussions of what may happen. What if you stay in gang banging? See, these people here today, they don't have that. So they figure there's only one way option. And they're getting rewarded for it. They're getting, as they would say today, clout.
Well, they got to have a passion. Yeah, they got to have a passion for something besides likes on Instagram or, I got some fresh Yeezys on or some J's or whatever. They got to have a passion. You know what I mean? We had a passion. Our passion and our outlet was music. You know what I mean? A person could be an overnight sensation. You could do a record right now in your garage. Shit, I done seen people do it on their phone and turn around and put it on Spotify and get a whole bunch of likes. They run their likes up. Now they hood rich. You know what I mean? And they got a whole bunch of money and they got phone money. You know, they holding the money up like a phone and, you know, people is liking them and they getting a lot of likes and they getting a lot of attention. But they never got a busted nose or a busted lip. So they ready to shoot. You know what I mean? But they haven't figured out how to not get caught. That was the key to the game with us. We figured out how to not get caught. You know what I'm saying? If we gonna do some shit, let's do it the street. We was drive-by shooters, carjackers. You heard a lot about that, but you didn't hear so much about that, like when the boy Young Dolph got killed, or Nipsey got killed, or you know what I mean, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, those were senseless murders right there. Senseless.
Right.
You know what I mean? It ain't no way Nip's supposed to be over there, or if he over there, he's supposed to be right. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Dolph. You buying some cookies, whatever happened or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, go send somebody to get them cookies, man. Or you so bossed up, man, they supposed to bring the cookies to you. You know what I mean? But, you know, what's the guy name and shit that got killed? Used to be rock with 50 and shit, young kid.
Pop Smoke.
Ran up in the house, popped on him. Pop Smoke. Yeah, Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. You know what I mean? You see, it was a camera involved. You know what I'm saying? It's a camera involved. Same thing with Dolph. The footage came out. Same thing with Nip. The footage came out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no footage in our days. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see Scott LaRock get killed. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see, you know what I'm saying, what's my boy from New York, Big L? You know what I'm saying? We didn't see him get killed. We didn't see my boy from the South get killed. We didn't see that. It wasn't no footage. You know what I'm saying? So that was the key to the game. Figure out how to not get caught. Don't be so head honcho to where you just gun-ho crazy, like I'm just going to throw my life away. I don't care about no kids, my mama, or nothing. I'm going to get caught. Like, that's just crazy to me. You know what I mean? You know, motherfuckers need to figure out something else to do, man. You know what I mean? Because we losing when it comes to that.
And the thing about it, Phil, you're right. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give y'all a good example, man. I'm going to give y'all a good example. One of the most detailed and graphic records that I've heard was Beanie Siegel's What's Your Life Like? That nigga painted a picture of prison life that made me be like, man, I do not want to experience none of this shit. Because that was like the when you think about One Time Gal from Up, them is real homies. You look at that video back in them days, half of them dudes, man, is dead or in prison. You know what I mean? And them was real homies that we either looked up to or we thugged with. You know what I'm saying? I look at that video and it's like a time capsule. Like, damn, man, that's Big Payback in that video. That's Bookie Loke in that video. Like, damn, that's Shiesty in that video. That's, you know what I mean? Them real homies that we grew up with. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's what that is right there. You know, but we know that because, you know, we in Compton, and, you know, people in Compton, they're like, damn, that's such and such in that video. Damn, I miss him and different shit like that. You know, I try to keep that alive. You know, on the Elephant album, I got a song called Genetics, kind of explaining how I was locked up all these different times and, you know, where it comes from out of me. You know, how it was handed down from my pops. You know what I mean? My pops was a kingpin in Compton and Watts, in Los Angeles, Long Beach, all that area. You know what I mean? Pops had all the charm. You know what I'm saying? Pops used to give me a gun to go to school because I had to go into enemy territory at that time. You know what I mean? So I was handed down for me. So I had to figure out how to put that in layman's terms, but not be telling on myself. You know what I mean? Or let it be a story. Yeah, you know, or let it be a story to where somebody can listen to it and be like, I feel that. And a lot of people been DMing me about that record. You know what I'm saying? About that jam, Genetics. I feel like that's one of the realest records I ever wrote, man, on the Elephant album, Genetics.
And people got to understand, man, because you touched on so much, Chill, in reference to how the streets are, you know, in terms of, you know, when we look at what happened with Dolph and Nipsey especially, because when you're big in the street like that, you know, people, you know, have their speculations about what happened with Nipsey. You know, we're not going to get into that on the show. With Dolph, we have a more direct line of what was the issues with him and Gotti. Not saying Gotti had anything to do with it, but when you're out there, and just the fact that you're a celebrity in general, you have to move different. And I think sometimes that's where some individuals don't get it, that your life has changed once you're famous. And it's definitely dangerous when you're really from the streets and you can't move out there like that. I think the biggest mistake a lot of dudes make is that they think that their life is the same as it was before they became who they were presently. And that is not how it is, because you're in a different place. And, niggas is going to take their stripes one way or the other in terms of, striking you down.
Yeah, man. It's crazy you say that because my team, whenever we go, it's imperative that we move it correct. You know what I mean? But how correct can you move, when, a guy ain't going to fight you. You know what I'm saying? But it's always going to be somebody that don't like you. You know what I mean? A guy just going to air you out. You know what I mean? So, we keep our eyes peeled and stay on the swivel, you know what I mean, and pick and choose where we need to be at because my ultimate goal is getting back home to my kids. You know what I mean? I fell in love with something that's more important than anything. You know what I mean? Like, I give it all up for my children and my wife and my family. You know what I mean? I give it all up. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? I have a job to do as well. You know what I mean? So I got to go to these places. So versus going to, the Lou or New Orleans or, Baton Rouge instead of going to the turf, you know what I'm saying? If I am going to do that, I'm going to move right. You know what I'm saying? And, I got love for everybody. I ain't got no beef for nobody. I know how to kind of diffuse the situation because I know the lingo. And it's not fake, you know what I'm saying? But I always try to put positivity in the air as well as, not corny positivity, but, you know what I mean? Like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? What y'all doing? Oh, y'all got pistols out here? Well, why don't y'all put them over there or something, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. How y'all going to have me caught up? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they tripping over here. Okay, well, we ain't going to kick it out here. Let's go kick it somewhere else then. You know what I mean? Versus back in the day, I'd be like, oh, give me one of them pistols, and I'm going to post up out here with you. And if they come, I'm busting too. You know what I'm saying? So I try to get the youngsters a little game on how to do it. If you're going to keep it gangster, then this is how you should keep it gangster. So the ultimate goal is getting back home to your family.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And the emphasis a lot of times, because everybody,
Going to make being responsible.
My bad, say that again.
I said you got to make being responsible the new gangster.
No doubt. The new gangster is paying bills, homie, and because your bills is going to come every month. That's gangster. You know what I'm saying? They punking us. You know what I'm saying? And then, with all this shit going on with Russia and Putin and all this shit, gas is going up. California gas is damn near $6, $7. You know what I mean? Even in Las Vegas, gas is going up. You know what I mean? So, they raping us. They the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? We get marked out by them. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Where you going to go on $7 a gallon? Down the street and right back? You know what I mean? So, people got a lot of money. They roll the foreigns and everything, but, keeping the gangsters, like, you know what, be smart. Work smarter, not harder. Like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and buy this electric car, you know what I'm saying, so I can save me a couple of dollars or, put this money up because ultimately I want my kids to have something when I go because today ain't promised. It used to be tomorrow. Today ain't promised. You know what I mean? So you want to have something put up in the kitty, man. That's keeping the gangster. To me. Trying to show off for some dude, that ain't gangster. That's gay.
Yeah, and the thing about it, people got to
made a valid point about that, man, because it used to be a time where you could plan for at least a month or two ahead. The way this world moves, you can't even plan 2 days ahead, man. You got to move with the punches.
That's real. That's real talk, man. Stay on the swivel, stay out the way, and the ultimate goal is get back to the castle, man. That's the ultimate goal. You made it back to the castle, man. You blessed. You are blessed. You know what I mean? Man, come on. My last time that I got out of prison was 2015, March 1st. I got out from the SHU program, what Denzel Washington was talking about at training day. My last year and a half was in the SHU.
Separate housing unit? Separate housing unit, special housing unit.
Yeah, I was in Delano, man, on the A-yard, 180 yard with killers, murders, real killers, murders. You know what I'm saying? And I was in the SHU. You You know what I mean? And I had nothing but me, my little TV, and my Bible, and these push-ups I be doing. You know what I mean? And, I had to think, like, man, I keep getting myself in a situation. I can't keep blaming people. You know what I'm saying? I got to blame it on myself. Stop fucking around doing the shit I was doing. You know what I mean? And, I'm blessed with this talent. Pay attention more to that than the other shit. You know what I mean? Now, every now and then a motherfucker might get a hair up his ass and want to go do something. I still roll with guns. I got to keep one. Everybody got one. So I'm not going to be one without one. You know what I mean? So, you do that. You know what I'm saying? Just the other day, I had to slap a fool upside his head talking crazy. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it gangster. I'm G chill. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep it gangster. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be for the right reason. Motherfucker said something stupid to my wife. You know what I'm saying? He got his ass slapped up. You know what I mean? But I ain't going to just trip on nobody, you know what I'm saying, for, hey, homie, you know what I'm saying? You a clip, homie, I'm a blood. I'm like, that's what's up, homie. I got a gang of blood, homies. That's what's happening, Damu. Where you from? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm from such and such. 9 times out of 10, I know one of his homies. You know what I'm saying? And I could call him right then and there and say, hey, look, homie, this little nigga, his name is such and such. You know him? Like, man, that fool ain't from my hood, or I don't even know him. You know what I mean? So I'll be pulling dudes' whole cards. You know what I mean? That's keeping it gangster. Like, homie, miss me with all that talk, homie. Talk to me about some beef or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't you. You know what I mean?
Chill, when you say you slap on somebody, you know what I was thinking of? When Prodigy was on the infamous out talking about, man, I beat you down to get on some high school shit and just start slapping niggas.
High school shit, start punching niggas in the face just for existing.
Yeah, this fool said something slick to my wife. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't proud of it because I fucked over him real bad. You know what I'm saying? But he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably say somebody else. He eventually line step. You got to handle that. That's different.
Yeah, he put a Henry Hill from Goodfellas on him, man. Smacked over that damn.
Yeah. I'm 51 years old, man. I ain't got time to let one of these cats pull no gun on me, man. I'm going to get on him quick. You know what I'm saying? And get it over with real quick. Let him know I ain't winning.
Look, we got that old ethos in the street, man. If respect isn't given, it has to be taught. So that's what it is.
It has to. Yeah, in our school, you know what I'm saying? Right, man, you know what I'm saying? This dude learned a lesson. I'll probably save somebody's life because whoever he thought he was going to do like that again, he ain't going to do about that. He going to think about that ass whooping he got. You know what I mean? So that was my way of teaching him. If he didn't want to listen, for me talking, you know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. But I ain't proud of it, you know what I'm saying? But it had to happen, and it will happen. You know what I mean? So,
look, if anything, it's like this. You just got to handle it. Because the thing is, people have to understand this. Because you've already been in the trenches, and, there have been situations King's been in, I've been in. People think just because you're trying to be peaceful, that it doesn't mean you not with this, that you ain't with the shit. And I tell people, you don't know what that person. There are two people that are the most dangerous: ones that are the most quiet, and the ones that are patient.
Hey, you know what I mean? I ain't doing all that. Yeah, I did all the, had my feet pointed east, the other one pointed west, chest poked out. You know what I mean? I done did all that. You know what I mean? But when you walk that 4-yard, man, and you with every idiot from the community, from every community, you get to see what real is. You know what I mean? Or in a drop of a dime, you coming out, you know what I'm saying, for chow, and just before you blink your eyes, the dude next to you done got stabbed in his neck, and he's leaking blood like a horror movie. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, you know what I mean? Like, this is real. Them dudes out there, what they talking about, that's not real. They doing a whole bunch of huffing and puffing and talking. This dude already got slumped. You know what I mean? So, you learn stuff from a different perspective. You know what I mean? I school my little homies that I got love for, you know what I'm saying? And I got love for a lot of homies, you know what I'm saying? I would drop one name just to be honest. My little homie Compton AV. You know what I'm saying? Out the
run me my money. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He wanted to
Compton AV. Run me my money.
Yeah, every time I see, I'll call and check on him. You know what I mean? He'll call, hey, what's up, You know what I mean? Or I'll see him around like, what's up, you good, kid? You know what I'm saying? I'm good, You know what I mean? Like, he really respect me, and I respect him, and I really, really see his growth, and I love him as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the same, community.
He is super. Yeah. Tell him we want him on the show next time you talk to him. Tell him we want him on the show.
That's a plug.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I sure will reach out to him. You know what I'm saying? He'll love to chop with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I always, you know, I treat these dudes like my real nephews. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, dog. You know what I'm saying? Stay out the way, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, this, that, the third. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good, Unc. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you good, Unc? What you need? Like, I don't need nothing. Now I just need y'all to stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? That type of shit. So they don't go through what I went through or get themselves caught up like a lot of people have. Because it would hurt me if something happened to something. You know, I knew Nipsey Hussle. It hurt me when that guy got killed. You know what I mean? You know, I bought his tape right there on Crenshaw and Slauson before. He tried to sell me a tape. You know what I mean? Like, hey, OG, you know what I'm saying? Buy my tape from me. This was back in the day. And I revisit and seen him again over at Snoop's compound. And he said, you don't even remember me, huh? I said, I know you is, fool, Nipsey Hussle. He said, no, remember I was at the gas station. I was like, buy my tape. And you gave me $20. And you said, keep the tape and keep pushing your line. I said, damn, that was you? He said, yeah, man. He said, man, I took that and I ran with it. And I kept pushing my line. I'm like, right, man, keep pushing your line. And look what he ended up being, you know, a mogul, bro. I think he just got a star and, you know what I mean, afterlife. You know what I mean? He got a star, you know what I'm saying, had a beautiful queen, kids, a business, you know, family orientated. And, you know, his life was cut short because of some idiot. You know what I mean? Because of some idiot. You know what I mean? So, you know, we really hurt because Nipsey heard our show. We were in the process of trying to get him on the show, and we had a mutual friend. Shout out Twan Gotti Gourmet. You know, and we were in the process of trying to get Nip on the show, and Nip heard our show that Saturday because Twan played him a clip of it, and he was killed that following Sunday. And we were like, King and me were like, damn. That was wild, man. That was wild. I think the kid that did it, I think he's going to start his trial in May. You know what I mean? We see how that goes, but still, you know what I mean? Shit. You know, I'm a street dude. I don't advocate a dude doing a lot of time in prison and all that. You know, let him out on these streets with his homies. Them 60s, they know what to do with him. You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt.
He's scum to me. You know what I mean? And that's coming from Compton. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, them 60s, they notorious. They know what to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you know, they left. I mean, you know, one thing about Compton AD, and I got to...
I was gonna say too, you know, to take things back on a lighter note, is there any artists in particular that you haven't worked with? Because you work with a lot of cats, man. Like, is there any people in particular that you haven't really produced for that you want to work with?
Man, I don't work with everybody, man. I'm blessed. I haven't worked with Eminem. I haven't worked with Jay-Z. You know what I mean? But it probably ain't for me to. I'm sure they know of me. You know what I mean? But, you know, for others on the East Coast, I got down with Red. You know what I mean? I got down with ODB. I got down with Meth. You know, Eric Sermon, that's my guy. I just did some stuff with Keith Murray.
Oh, shit, okay.
The West. Yeah, Fortis the West, man. I mean, even the OGs, I just did some stuff with my boy Cocaine and the legendary Cool Rock Ski from the Fat Boys. You know what I mean? I produced this song called Hush. That's out right now.
Cocaine's like an uncle to me, man. You know, we've been pushing that song for him heavy. Like, if you see a video that I did with the DJ Khaled, like he was dancing to the song, did a little video montage to it. That's me.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. And then, you know, shout out to you know, cats like Special Ed and, you know,
we interviewed him a few months back.
Positive K. Yeah, me and Special Ed, we talking this NFT game. You know what I'm saying? We chopping up with. So we looking forward to that. Far as the West Coast, man, I've touched everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I wanted to. And that's from San Diego to the Bay and everything in between. Down south, I done got out, you know, with some of my favorites, man. 8 Ball and MJG, the Goody Mob, Cujo Goody. He's on my album right now. I got a song with Cujo and Big Mike from the Ghetto Boys, Cujo from the Goody Mob, and Cocaine on that.
We had both of them on the show. Yeah, we've had both of them.
Yeah,
that bridge is heavy, man.
That's on Elephant. That's a song we did called Under Pressure. You know, man, like I told you a few minutes ago, man, if I quit right now, you know what I'm saying, I'm satisfied. You know what I mean? I'm satisfied. I just learned how to make money from it and how to have a good, positive state of mind with it and have fun with it because, You know, versus when I was a kid doing this stuff, you know, what I forgot that it was fun to rap. You know what I mean? It was fun to hook up with DJ Slip and Unknown and my partner MCA. We had a lot of good times. Once the shit started getting serious, that's when it took the fun out of it. You know, music wasn't sounding so great because it was, you know, it was doing it for some money. You know what I mean? But I'm back having fun with it. You know what I mean? And that's why the music is sounding so good because, you know, it's organic. You know what I mean? So, you know, if I quit right now today, man, I can honestly say I did it, man. I did it. I ain't big as Snoop Dogg or I ain't big as Dr. Dre, but I'm chill from Compton's Most Wanted, and that's good enough for me. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that respect that. You know what I mean? A lot of people throw around the legend word. You know, I'm like, a legend to me is, you know, Herbie Hancock, you know, Quincy Jones. You know what I mean? I would say I'm one of the greats from the West Coast. I'm one of the greats from the West Coast. You know what I mean? So I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I don't produce for a lot of people. And I'm working on MC Renz. And you see how I go full circle for me? The guy that used to come across the street and watch me write raps and hook me up with Eazy-E and hook me up on Lonzo. Compton's Most Wanted is born. Now I'm producing the whole EP for him right now, from top to bottom, called Cyrus. You know what I'm saying? Be looking for that. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? God is good, man. I just produced something for Coolio. You know what I mean? Put him back on his chops. You know what I mean? You know, on his Compton tip. You know what I mean? The song called Mo Parkin. You know what I mean? We did the video out here in Vegas. A gang of lowriders had a grand time with the boy Coolio. You know what I mean? And, man, I'm just having fun with it again, man. My boy JD, he just did 28 years in prison. You know what I mean? And he lived to tell it. You know what I mean? He's out. I got a single out with him right now from the Lynch Mob. You know what I mean? Called Put It All. Yeah, called Put It All Together. That video is out and the song is out right now streaming. Put It All Together by me and JD from the Lynch Mob. So I'm just having fun with it, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of stuff. Me and my boy EIht, we still get it in. He's either on my project or I'm on his project. Or, you know what I'm saying? We doing shows still, touring and all that stuff. So I have a lot of fun, man. I have a lot of fun, man. You know, if I quit right now today, man, I can honestly say I did it my way. Like old Blue Eyes.
Okay. One thing is, we don't want to
do it in a high capacity, too. I mean,
yeah, man.
Stuff is sharp. Like, from the album that EIht did, which was, I think, the joint he did with Premier, and the joint he dropped last
year. Yeah, I'm on that album. I got a joint that, so surprisingly, people just love that song because I don't remember doing it. You know what I mean? By the time Preem got the folks and did his thing, you know what I mean? It's called The Last Ones Left. You know what I mean? That's on the Which Way's West album. Man, that shit go crazy. Yeah, that go crazy. Yup. Shout out to Premier. Again, everything come full circle. Yep.
If it's possible, because I'm going to reach out to you on your DM, it's T-Max NBA, because I didn't get a copy of that Which Way is West album. I know it's in limited release. I'll pay to get that set, the T-shirt, the CD, everything. So we can chop it up and we can get in touch with EIht about that.
No doubt. I'll put you directly in contact with him. I think he's about to re-release it, or it was one of them songs he was going to remaster. I mean, one of them albums. I believe it's Which Way is West. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Promotion with it too, and I missed it some years back, but I'm willing to pay to get it.
Yes,
we gotta
indeed.
go back to
you know, then we had an album out. We had an album out a couple of years ago too. Me and EIht. You know what I mean? Compton's Most Wanted album, CMW, called Gangster Business. You know what I mean? Me and EIht teamed up again. For those that don't know, we did an album called Gangster Business that came out. It's streamers, you know. So for the listeners, you know what I mean? Y'all go peep that out too. There's some slap on there. Yes, indeed. We got Too Short. You know, a couple of homies on there. It's hard. Yep.
How you guys
adapt
to the streaming in comparison to the physicals? Like, how y'all been adapted to that format?
It's crazy, you know what I mean? Because I get a lot of people that still ask for hard copies, whether it be to listen to or for their collection. A lot of people's collect, you know, they collector's items. So, you know, with my projects, like a couple of years, I put out an album called Forehead. I did a campaign where I pressed up some hard copies, and, man, I sold out them things, man. With the Elephant, I'm pressing up a few hard copies as well as Wax. You know what I mean? A lot of people use them as collector's items. But with the streaming game, you know, it's different. You know what I mean? You know, of course, we ain't getting all our money. You know what I mean? It's fuckery involved. But, you know, once again, you know, I'm having fun with it. You know what I mean? And when you have fun with it, everything that comes with it, everything that's supposed to come with it is going to come with it. So I'm well off. You know what I mean? I'm doing my thing. You know what I mean? My bills is paid. And, you know, I'm able to do what I could do, you know what I'm saying, without struggling. So, God is good. You know what I mean? I ain't tripping off of it. It is what it is. I still got people that rock with me, so I do it for them. You know what I mean? I do it for the people that rock with me, for all the millions of people that's in my DM. Like, man, chill when you dropping another album. You know what I mean? That's what I do it for.
Yeah, and one thing about it, to see how you have been around with a longevity and still giving lessons, I got to go back to Compton AV for a minute because I got to tell this story because I'm a huge Compton AV fan. When A&E, shout out to Arts Entertainment Network, this was back in 2016 when they did the Compton documentary. Of course, they did the first part with Game, and then they did the second part featuring all the Compton artists. And there was this kid named Compton AV. Of course, can't forget AD, too. AD, man, I mean, but Compton AV is special, man. I mean, the stuff he did, Querte, of course, Run Me My Money, the joint he got Money Dance right now. The boy is special.
AV got the juice. AV got the juice and Compton AD. That's my little homie, too, from Lantana Block. You know what I'm saying? That's right across the street from Track New. You know what I'm saying? Them the little homies. And then you got Compton STG from Atlantic Drive over in Easy East side of town. You know what I mean? And then I got another little homie that's going to come out, one of my little homies, Dogman Compton. I'm going to be looking for his project in May. You know what I'm saying? That I'm going to drop, Dogman Compton. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give to the youth, you know what I mean? And the ones that's pushing their line, you know what I mean? I give them their flowers, man. I give them a whole flower bed. You know what I mean? Because I want them to last. You know what I mean? I've been lasting since 1989, man. It's 2022, man. How many people can say that? You know what I mean? Especially, you know what I mean, with what I've been through. You know what I mean? So, I give these dudes a whole flower bed, man, especially when they dope. You know what I'm saying? Compton AV, that's a dope kid, man. He's out here pushing his line, and he's doing it all on his own, him and his mother. You know what I mean? And you got to respect that. You know what I mean? And it ain't just trash. He ain't trying to sound like nobody. He ain't running around here like he an extra out gangbanger. You know what I mean? He's just a cocky little Compton kid pushing the city. You know what I mean? And I love that about it. Same thing with AD. You know what I mean? He's one of our fire starters. He got spittle. That boy know how to rap. You know what I'm saying? He running around with OT Genesis and they have fun. Them dudes be having fun. And that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Hip-hop is fun. You know what I mean? That's why the music comes out dope like that. You know what I mean? Because they having fun. You know what I mean? If you ain't having fun, then that shit is trash. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, they just rushing it, trying to get some quick money, and you know what I mean? The shit ain't mixed right. You know what I mean? They ain't getting up to 2 likes or whatever, so they resort to doing other things to get them likes. You know what I mean? And all that. You know what I mean? And that's when that shit be corny. You know what I mean? So shout out to the youngsters, man.
Man, look, y'all
shout out
winning out there, man. I mean, of course, they, you know what I'm saying? AD did Crip Lives Matter. Shout out to BG from Broadway Gangster, who just bodied his verse. I mean, of course,
yes, indeed.
On Crip, with OT and Jay Stone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all winning. Blue team is winning, man.
Man, these kids,
OG
man. These
era
kids,
and the new era.
Yeah, these kids is doing their thing, man. I love it, man. I love it. OT out here took Dub CC walk to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? I love it, man.
Yeah, man. Robert Sugar Bear Jackson is proud, man, to see the legacy he left with it. I mean, to just see, and I mean, you got guys like Steve Lacy coming out of Compton. I mean, he's one of the unsung R&B gems. That dude is talented.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of him, but if you haven't heard of Steve Lacy, check him out. The dude is talented. Like, we even got a chance to get out. We even got a chance to get out with the boy Dave East. You know what I'm saying? On 8th album Lessons. You know what I mean? So that was dope in itself. You know what I mean? A lot of people be thinking the OGs don't get down with the youngsters, man. It be them youngsters with that fast food music that we don't be liking. You know what I mean? But these dudes that really got a passion, man, I give them their flowers, man. I rocks with them. You know what I'm saying? I like Dave East. You know what I'm saying? I like the Young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? I like the Pop Smoke. You know what I mean? Of course, Nip. You know what I'm saying? And the whole, Slauson Boys movement. You know what I mean? All of that. My Compton Boys. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Brenhurst Computer, man. Yeah.
There's a lot of little hot dudes, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little hot dudes, man, especially on this end. We got the Young Giant. That's the Penthouse Players' little sons. You know what I mean? They trying to get off the porch, you know what I mean? They'll pop in and out, you know what I'm saying? Them dudes is dope. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad luck, you know what I mean? And glasses and all of them. That lane, that generation is dope, as well as the ones after them. Compton AVs and AVs and all of that. You know what I mean? Lil Sody. You know what I'm saying? Lil Sody. Me and Lil Sody talking about doing some work. You know what I mean? Y'all pay attention to him, too. He going to be a beast out here. He be rocking with, he from the gangster car, from EIht. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to rock with him on some shit. So, you know, Mac Lucci, them my guys. You know what I'm saying? These are all my guys. Them all my nephews.
Valley
you know
Life,
Valley
Life.
Yeah, I rock with all these kids, man. And try to give them some inspiration. Like, man, have fun, man. Stay out the way. You know what I mean? Stay out the way. Get your paper and go home, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's essential for you to still be around with you and the legends, because in a game where a lot of people try to tell the older generation that they aren't relevant, we're like, hell no, we need y'all, because you all help define a culture, you all help define a sound, you all help define a legacy. When we think about producers on the West Coast, you're right up there with them, with Quik, Dre, you know, Big Hutch, you know, chill. You're right in that pantheon, that Mount Rushmore of all time legends. You know,
man,
you
thank
all
you, man. It's crazy.
You part of that class of 6 degrees of separation.
No doubt. It's crazy y'all said that. And not to cut you off, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that, because I'm finna drop a super group too that I put together in 2010 before I left. And now we finna revamp it. You know what I'm saying? That's coming out April 15th. It's called First Generation. It consists of me, my partner MC8, J.O. Felony, Gangster from the Conrads, Corrupt from the Dog Pound, and the legendary King T. We all one group. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a couple of years I did the we finna drop an EP in April 15th. We just did the video, one of the videos for it. That shit finna be hot. And then you know, a few years ago I did the Dirty OGs, me, Corrupt, Trady from the East Siders, and my homeboy from Pomona, Weasel Low. You know what I mean? With cocaine. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm about doing that, you know what I'm saying, like mixing and matching, you know what I'm saying, people together that people, you know, from other cultures didn't even know we knew each other, because I'm inspired when I see, you know, Method Man rocking with DMX, rest in peace, or, you know, this person rocking with this person, you know what I'm saying, and that's game hand down from the South, because they always rock with each other, you know what I'm saying. You'll see Luda getting down with T.I., or, you know what I'm saying, you know, Big Boy rocking with, you know, somebody from the South, you know what I mean, so, you know, I kind of got that from them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what, let me put together different things that people know about but ain't used to seeing. Like, you just brought up Big Hutch name, you know what I'm saying? I got an album in the cut that I produced from top to bottom with a Bud of Law before KMG died. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it. I don't want to do nothing with it without Hutch. You know what I mean? And Hutch is Code 187 from a Bud of Law. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's a lot of shit, man. It's a lot of shit. But, you know, once again, I'm just having fun with it, fellas. That's all. Pushing my line, man.
And it's important, man, because people really have to understand, you know, what it takes, you know, from living the, you know, street life to transitioning to business, how to maintain that business, and how to create a legacy. I mean, I'm going to just say it, dare we get a book down the line? I mean, we got a lot of history. I mean, we would love to, like, read it in terms of, like, everything.
I'm doing all these shameless plugs, but really you jogging my memory because it's so much. You know what I mean? I'm working on a documentary. You know what I mean? It's called Compton's Best Kept Secret. You know, either people, they know me from rapping from Compton's Most Wanted, or Chill, the producer. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to mix and melt the both of them together. You know what I mean? I got Battle Cat on there, and EIht, and Corrupt, and all these different legends on there speaking on me. I got Compton AV on there. You know what I mean? That's my aunt. You know what I'm saying? He did this, he do this. You know what I mean? All that type of shit. I got my pops, my sister, and everybody. It's a cold story. You know what I mean? I'm trying to land a situation with it. I ain't going to say where. It's going to come in the near future. Well, yeah, Compton's best kept secret. I think that's when I'm going to slam my mic down, man. And just be like, you know what? I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? I done did all I could do. You know what I mean? Let me just jump behind my little kid, dog man, Compton, and let him ride. Make him last.
Yes, sir, man. The Compton most imagine this though. Imagine the Compton Most Wanted biopic. Who would you have playing you if you had a choice?
It'd have to be somebody unknown. You know what I mean? It'd have to be somebody unknown. I want somebody fresh. You know, like the kid that played Eazy-E, he was fresh. You know what I mean? Or Dr. Dre, he
Jason
was fresh.
Mitchell.
I would want all fresh kids to play us. You know what I'm saying? But it'd have to be, you know, him as a kid all the way up to now. You know what I'm saying? But you're right, man. You know, for those that's listening, man, y'all know somebody that's interested in the Compton's Most Wanted biopic, man, slide in my DM. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? At the Chill CMW, Instagram. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm all the way with it, and I'm sure Ade is too. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just hit your DM, man, just to thank you, you know, in terms of so you'll see T-Max NBA on your DM. I mean, yeah, man, and it's like, you know, but to see, it's just refreshing, man, and this is why we do shows like we do, because y'all help raise us, you know, from understanding the streets and from hip-hop. So we got the best of both worlds in terms of those lessons. And it's something that cannot be understated, because the way things are today, we're not two old guys screaming from the top of the hill about today's state of hip-hop, because we love a lot of the artists. We just don't like the direction of the music. How do you think in terms of where record companies have started marketing? We got a little bit of time left. How has it changed now? Because it's something where these artists, it's like nowadays, it's not about music, it's about an image. It's not about talent, it's just about, you know, sensationalism. Do these young artists really understand the dangers that they're in of not being properly cultivated and, you know, taken care of in terms of grooming them for the success that may come? Because we're seeing a lot of artists self-destruct under the spotlight of something they wanted in celebrity, but it became a calamity altogether.
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. It's also tricky. You know what I mean? It just depends on, you know, what frame of mind these people are in. You know what I mean? Is it based on talent, skills? Is it based off a quick money scheme? You know what I mean? If it's based on a quick money scheme, then it's over before it started. You know what I mean? They're only going to last a few months. You know what I mean? They'll come out with a dope record. You won't hear them no more. You know what I mean? If it's based off skills and talent, you know, they'll last because they paying attention to, you know, marketing as well as, you know, putting themselves in the limelight in the right fashion, and they dropping good quality music. You know what I mean? So what I would tell a youngster, you know, follow Kendrick Lamar, follow, you know, Compton AV, follow, you know, Dave East. You know what I mean? Follow these type of guys. You know what I mean? And get out their blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Also, you know, if you want to be a ball player, you know what I mean, then you're going to study Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You're going to study Magic. You're going to study Kobe. You're going to study, you know what I'm saying, Jordan. You know what I mean? And in this case, people are going to study LeBron. You know what I mean? So that means, you know, be a part of, you want to be a part of what you know, what you want to be a part of, meaning, you know, study it. You know what I mean? When I came in the game, you know what I mean, I studied Run DMC, EPMD, Houdini, you know what I mean, Eazy-E, you know, King T, Toddy T, you know what I mean? I want to know Ice-T, you know what I mean, and all that. You know what I mean? You know, pay homage to this. You know what I mean? Learn from it. You know what I mean? Chill, Compton's Most Wanted. You know what I mean? Like, you want to learn from it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Chill, he went to jail, did this, did that. I don't want to do that, so let me do this. You know what I mean? Let me, you know, get my marketing skills from Russell Simmons. You know what I mean? Let me get my flyness from Houdini. You know what I mean? Let me get my skills from Run DMC and put it in my own way. Be original. You know what I mean? Don't try to come out with the 808 because everybody 808. I still laugh at that T-Pain post. I'm sure everybody's seen it. When he like, okay, man, we got it. Do something else. I mean, that's just real. Do something that's original. You know what I mean? Even when it comes to marketing and promotion, do something that's original because everything is based on the wow factor. You know what I mean? Make the people say, wow, that was dope. You know what I mean? It's so much these days. People have a smorgasbord, and everybody got ADHD. They'll listen to that shit for one time and then hurry up and get to something else. So it got to be something that's going to stick out. You know what I mean? It got to be something that's going to stick out from the rest. You know what I mean? Be one of those type of artists. You know what I mean? Don't just be a fly-by-night sensation because that shit don't last. Everybody get their moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody get their moment when it's dope.
That's true. And I think a lot of times artists have to understand, it's about creating longevity, because a lot of times they think because they get on, they get a YouTube video that goes viral or whatever, that they are made it. And I'm like, no, because I'm like, the trick is you got to
when you get signed, is where the shit start.
Yeah. But then they think just because they got 1 million views on a video, they made it. I'm like, well, the thing is it 1 million views because people really like it, or is it because you still have sensationalism to sell it? People like
these days,
sensationalism.
These days, probably you got a fly pair of jeans on, or some $200 tennis shoes on, or a nice haircut or something. I don't know, or some fancy phrase or something. Some crazy TikTok dance or something. Okay, do something that's gonna follow up. Always try to top what you did. Don't stay in the same lane. Just try to top what you did. Kendrick came out. And then he came out and he topped what he did. Same thing with Compton AB. These guys are last because they topping what they did. They're not trying to stay right there and keep feeding us the same bullshit. Jumping on the auto-tune because everybody auto-tuning. Music is weird these days, man. It's really, really weird because, you turn on these streaming things, and everything sounds the same. Every now and then you'll get something that's like, wow, that was dope. But I've been forgot about it, because the dude didn't follow up. You got to follow up, man, and make these people say, wow. That's the key to the game. Versus when I first dropped, it wasn't a lot of people. So you could go back and listen to the Duck Sick or Late Night Hype or whatever. Growing up in the hood. Hood took me under. You could go back and listen to that because after that, Ice Cube gonna come on. The DOC, Above the Law. Coming from the West, it wasn't about 50 good people that was rocking, if that. So now it's thousands. It's thousands. It's a studio on every corner. Every corner, somebody got a studio. So, what you gonna do to stand out from the rest, man? That's what I say. And follow up. Keep pushing your line. Make that shit dope, though.
Yeah, before we sign out, man, I just got to chime in and say, these cats don't understand how it was with keeping that studio time going. That's why you guys had to record, because, man, studio time was a bitch back then.
Man, hell yeah. We ain't had these computers and these dolls and, inboxes and, Apollos and shit. We didn't have none of that. You know what I'm saying? We actually had to go pay studio time. And, man, them dudes was 9 times out of 10 rock and roll dudes. They kick your ass out the studio fast. Like, okay, your time is up. Well, damn, man, can I get it on tape? We're like, yeah, that's going to be another hour, so you got to pay for that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was hard times, bro. It was hard times. Now everybody got a studio on every corner. You know what I mean? It's just lazy game to me, man. It's a lazy game to me. Everybody just doing whatever. Yep.
Yeah, man, I want to tap in on that one, man, because that's what makes the record sound different. You can tell it's sonically mastered and recorded in a real expensive studio, just like when you listen to Dre's music sounds so crisp to this day. As you can tell, he recorded in that expensive studio. But the stuff today, these niggas, man, they just record it anywhere.
they just doing whatever, yeah. Yeah, they just doing whatever, and it sounds like it, you know what I mean? Even radio, you know what I'm saying? They'll play it and continue to play it, and it starts to brainwash everybody because, it's like when we heard MC Hammer for the first time, and then they play it again, and then they play it again, and it's on the radio 15 times a day. In a minute you're going to be saying, can't touch this. You know what I mean? They brainwashing the people. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with us, man. Give us that quality, man. You know what I'm saying? Give us that quality and follow up with something that's going to be just as dope or doper than your first shit. That's what I would say. Doper than your first shit. Always try to top your shit. Okay, I did this. It was hard. Now let me do something harder than this. You know what I mean? Stop having these yes people around you. You know what I mean? Give it to the streets. You know what I mean? Hip-hop has come from the streets. So give it to the streets. Like I just put out Elephant. I only did one video for it so far, because I wanted the streets to talk to me, to tell me what to do next. Now I got it. I'm going to follow up. You know what I mean? With something that's harder than Elephant. You know what I mean?
And that's important, man, because you got to keep your clientele, before we get out here, But I think that's the one thing about the radio chill that really kind of aggravates us, because back in the day, because of course we had the video shows and then we had the radio where DJs were really free to play whatever they wanted, and now it's everything's corporate. They got a playlist. It's like a lot of DJs hate the playlist they get, but they got to do it, you know.
Yep.
And it's because and you know, it
but
goes
we got
saying,
platforms. We got platforms like what you got. You know, maybe we can create our own lane. You know what I mean? So, you know, all right, maybe the person ain't the best rapper. You know what I'm saying? Okay, be a radio DJ then. You know, develop some type of platform like what you guys have here. This is dope. You know what I mean? To where we can spit that real. You know, somebody's listening and somebody's sucking up game. You know what I mean? Somebody's like, okay, this is some real good talk right here, because it is. And they actually learning something. You know what I mean? Some people probably like, oh, who this old nigga talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know, but some people probably like, you know what? That's game, and that's facts right there. You know what I mean? I did this right there. Let me make sure it's correct before I put it out. And let me do something else that's dope and mix it right, because it's probably dope, but it ain't mixed right. You know what I mean?
Right.
It ain't pushed right. You know what I mean? You know, spend some time with your music. Don't be so in a rush to give it to somebody. You know what I mean? To give it to people, because people will call you on that shit. You know what I mean? People will call you on that shit. Then you just a bust MC. Or in my day, a sucker MC.
Look, man. Yeah. Look. And on that note, Chill, this is coming from two guys who grew up listening to y'all, who absolutely love and respect what you all have done and are so honored to be talking to you about it. Thank you for all you've done for the culture. Thank you for how you have enriched and educated us, from the youth even to us being grown men. God bless you and your family. Keep doing what you do. You're welcome back anytime. And West, thank you.
Man, blessings and salute to y'all platform. Thanks for having me. I'll come back anytime and come chop with y'all, man. And, you know, for everybody that's listening, salute to y'all. Thanks for the time. Hope y'all learned something. You know, make sure you follow me at The Chill, CMW. That's the THA. You know what I mean, on Instagram, or, you know what I mean, just go stream that new Elephant album, man. There's something on there for everybody. For the G's, for the youngsters, for the ladies, for the homeboys, you know what I mean, for the low riders, the motorcycles, you know what I mean, everything. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all go stream that Elephant, man. It's the hottest thing on the street right now, without being modest.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And you better not bootleg it, or we coming for your asses.
Hello. In that fashion.
Look, keep it true blue always, man. And look, till next time. And King, take us out of here.
On that note,
Peace
we up out of here. Thank you once again. Big shout out to Casper for linking this up, man. We hope to do more work with y'all in the future. So this is the beginning of another bridge that Off the Cuff Radio is building. So be on lookout. Thank you, Chill, once again for chopping it up with us, man. And you'll be definitely hearing more from us.
Man, thank you, man. And shout out to my homeboy Casper, man. PE, man. Public Enemy in the house. Casper. That's my guy, Chi-Town in this bitch. Yes, indeed.
On that note, we out.
Peace.
100.